Hello everyone, I'm Ferdi Salvador. Join us in unlocking the tricks of the trade here on Trade Talks. Let's get down to business. The Korean invasion continues as Korean pop stars or K-pop gain more popularity among Filipinos and other fans across the globe. This means more concerts here in the Philippines, and this usually triggers massive queues at the ticket booth. But did you know our guest is the one who started it all? Happee Sy-Go is an events producer and the chief operating officer of Pulp Live World, best known for pioneering large-scale K-pop concerts in the Philippines. Welcome to the program. I'm so happy that you're here, Happee.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, you are the quiet force,
talaga
I
ba?
would say, that started it all 20 to 15 years ago, right?
Yeah,
When nobody was really paying focus on, K-pop, the K-pop entertainment scene. How did this happen? How did you get into it?
Well, first and foremost, when I was with my friend then, Vernon, you know Vernon Go, right?
Yes.
So he's already doing Pulp.
He's your ex-friend.
Yes, he's my ex-friend. Now my best friend in
And
life.
husband.
Yes. So basically, during that time, he was already bringing in artists, American artists. And then one time we were in the car, and then I told him, why don't we just bring K-pop? And then he was like, K-what? I said, K-pop. I said, it's Korean pop. So
Yes.
I showed him.
Yes.
So basically, what attracted to me about K-pop was the theatrics of it. Because you know me, I love theatrics. I love it. I love it exaggerated. I love all those efforts put into a production. So I showed it to him. I said, we can do that. And then next thing I know, it was there.
He
really made it happen, yeah.
Yes. You are the original K-pop monster mama or inang reyna ng K-pop, okay? What are these titles? What do they mean to you, rather?
Well, for me, I think it really started when, you know how it is when during that time, because I'm even until now, I'm very hands-on, right? I message with fans, I communicate with them, and then they call me Inang because basically that's where they all started. A lot of them I see in the shows, and they'll be, oh, the first show I did was with you. I was 9 years old. I cannot, I feel so bad because that's like 15 years ago. How old do you think am I? So it's like, it's weird. Like basically a lot of them, majority, I think maybe 85% of them really went through my hands. Like they really went through our shows.
When
so
did you
it's
think
amazing.
when did you think K-pop started gaining ground, and how did it revolutionize? How long ago?
I think it really started getting big around 2019. Like for me, the best time for K-pop was around that time, 2019.
Why?
Because during that, when I started, because around 2009, 2010, and that time, it's not as big yet because you cannot see it in mainstream media.
Globally.
Yes. We can only see it online in specific places like YouTube, or if you want certain contents, you have to go to Recto to just, those illegally distributed stuff. Yes. But then nowadays, it's more accepted. And then it really started like that around 2019 and then 20. And then suddenly, pandemic hit. When pandemic hit, it really got bigger, a lot bigger, because that's the ready content. Because that's what's great about K-pop and K-drama, all these Korean stuff. It's because it's a very planned, manufactured product.
Yes, actually.
So
that's what a lot of them are saying.
Yes, it's not fake because it's just that it's well planned. Every angle of it, every corner, it's according to schedule, it's according to the releases. It's really planned. No matter what you're going through, it's gonna come out.
Yes.
That's just it.
But
and
even
during
from
pandemic,
but even from merch to the looks,
Yes.
the production, where they're going to be, where they're standing, everything's calculated.
Yes. To the point that during pandemic, when a lot of people are feeling down, of course, creative-wise, you cannot think of anything creative because you're fighting for your life, right? But Koreans, K-pop, it was continuing. Why? Because it's a group, it's really a massive...
It's a nation's effort.
Yes, it's an effort of massive, like basically power backing it up to the point that when even artists themselves, even if they're feeling sad, it's their way to escape the reality as well, because it's their way to push forward. Because it's moving forward, whether you're with the car or not, it's moving forward.
Correct. Because when it started, like, I would make fun of my mother because she would always watch K-drama, you know, that show in the sky. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But do you think that fueled the K-pop sensation?
Which one?
The Korean telenovelas.
Well, I think Korean telenovelas, even when my grandmother was still alive, there was already Jewel in the Palace.
That's why, the thing, the palace in the sky.
Oh, that's the one too? Yes. So they already have those. But then during that time, it really only attracted the seniors.
Yeah.
Those who don't have nothing to do at home, they want to watch something. But I think, personally, I feel K-pop is the one who actually opened K-drama to younger generation. Because it's for older generation, maybe they have known K-drama ever since, and a lot of the people also, they have downloaded stuff in Recto and stuff, those things. But for the younger generation, I think it started with K-pop.
Yes, because I know when you were organizing concerts in the Philippines when you first started, the West, okay, like let's say specifically the US, they weren't really interested in K-pop. Now it blew up in the global scale, like you said. No, I mean, a lot of artists, which we'll mention later, no, started through you. But how was your first concert and what was it?
My very first one is Super Show 2. During that time, that was already at the last leg of the tour, and we had to squeeze Manila in. So it was really
and
a
who are
massive...
the major artists of Super Show?
That's Super Junior.
Super Junior.
So we had to, like, it was tough because nobody believed in K-pop. No, I keep getting questions like, who's gonna watch your show? Who listens to Korean? What are they gonna sing?
Yeah.
Like, you know, but then
they don't speak English.
Yes,
Yeah,
but then people forget that music is universal, right? So maybe during that time they took it for granted, that phrase, music is universal, but it's really the feels. Like, you know, no matter you don't know, because the sound of Super Junior were really weird, like dan, 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 da, 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 da. That alone, it would spike your blood already up. Like you go...
You're making me want to dance right now. I was about to bop up and
right?
down.
But you don't know what dan, dan, dan,
Yeah.
dan means.
Yeah.
So it's really that feeling. And I wanted to communicate that feeling to the people here. Because if I felt like that, I'm sure there's thousands of people like me.
Which you proved correct.
Yes, right?
But then, of course, it's a risk.
It was. Thanks to my husband
Former
for trusting
friend.
me, my former friend.
Yeah, but it's such a big risk, and then now they're in their 20th year,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So
they're celebrating 20 years in their...
and they've been going to Manila
career.
ever since they
Yes.
started with you, because Super Junior also gained a lot of worldwide fame,
Yes.
and of course I would say they were the benchmark of what kind of K-pop acts we have at the moment.
Yes, for me in the Philippines specifically, Super Junior was the very first talaga to really pave the way for everyone else.
And how many people went to that concert, the very first?
During that time, it was around 8,000. And then that was...
You say it's like normal. Oh yeah, 8,000. 8,000 lang.
No, because now it's like you attract 45,000 to 50,000 in a...
Is that your biggest number for a concert?
There are times like when we do, like, because a typical MOA arena show would attract around 9,000 to 10,000,
Yes.
right? So 3 days of that's 30,000. So it's like, it's already considered okay if you do to 8,000.
Oh, so that's just like, it was
No
an effort.
naman. It depends really. It depends on the history of the artist. It depends on their how big they are really, and then I guess the connecting fans that they have.
Yes. How did K-pop concerts evolve from then and then now? You were telling me a while ago that you're into the extravagance of it. The production side, the creativity. How did that change from your first to your recent projects?
When it comes to the production itself, like the effects, the standard for the show, it's the same. Basically, they have really maintained that standard, which I really, truly love, because K-pop show became big because of that maintenance of the standard of what a show should be. So basically, you make fans clamor for more because it's something that they can never see, right? And then, but I feel what changed and evolved eventually is now they're more accessible.
Did you feel like you played a role in shaping?
Well, I believe, if not, my goodness, like before when I started, concerts start late. But I don't like going home late because I have so many things to do, you know? So I started early.
Guys, start early. Come on, Super Junior, you have to start at 6 because I gotta get home by 10.
Yes, like that. We're getting old,
That's
guys.
Power.
By 9. No, it's like before when you announce a show starts at 7, sometimes it starts at 9. And then on my very first show, I was so shocked about that. And then I felt like, we already announced 7 and you're not here, you're eating in Bilyonaryo. Like, because I was wondering where people we're starting.
Yes.
And then I went out because it's in Araneta Coliseum, and then I went out, they're all eating there, I had to grab all of them.
Guys, it's starting.
Yeah, it's starting. So after that, I realized it's a culture, and then it's like concert industry is so big already, even before I joined the industry. So when it was my turn, I said, no, if I'm gonna do something, I'm gonna do it my way.
Yes.
So ever since I said 5 p.m., 6 p.m., show starts promptly. And we do, like 5:59, if the show is 6, 5:59 is getting dark.
Yeah.
By 6, boom, start. I
So
don't
they
ca-
know when it's
So
Pulp.
after a while,
Yeah.
they knew when it's Pulp show, it has to start on time. We're gonna die if we're not there.
Yes.
So
But
it's
Korean
like that.
culture, they're prompt.
Correct. So it's a cooperation between. So basically, a lot of my system I adapted from Korean style.
Yes.
Because that's my very first. That's how I got trained.
Yes. How did you think Filipino fans helped fuel K-pop's global success?
I believe like we really played a huge role because we're the noisiest. At the end of the day, you need marketing.
Yes.
Whether how big you are, if people are not noisy and clamoring for it, it's not gonna go anywhere.
But we're gonna get back to that, Happy. I wish I had 3 hours to talk to you. We're gonna take a quick break. Trade Talks will be right back. Welcome back to Trade Talks. We continue our lively conversation with Happee Sy-Go. She's the Chief Operating Officer of Pulp Live World. We're just talking about, how the Filipinos contributed to the global success of K-pop. And you said before the break, we're the noisiest and, we're the most alive. What else did the Filipino fan base bring to the table for K-pop's global success?
Well, I believe the Filipino fans are very, very dedicated, and they show it. Like, you know how Filipinos are, when we love something, we really show it, right? We're not just quietly supporting, we're noisy supporting. So it adds to that hype because like I said, like K-pop really started online.
Yes.
And we're the most online people. So it really push.
Statistically, yes, it's true. You've got data.
Yes.
Okay.
So when they say stream it, we're streaming it.
Yes. But do you think your Korean K-pop acts resonate with that? Like, do they love the Filipino fan base?
I feel so, because the energy of the fans always reflect on the artist, like when they perform. That's why when you watch a concert from different countries, always the stage and the performance always reflects the audience. And I feel, I'm not being biased, but I feel Philippine concerts are always the craziest and the happiest place on earth.
And I love the energy that you're bringing out to me. But I want to ask this, okay? Might be
Imagine multiply to 10,000.
for the first day. But I just want to ask you this because, of course, there are new acts, previous acts like Super Junior. Which global K-pop acts now started with you here?
What do you mean? Like we brought and...
Yes,
well,
that you started.
I believe BTS.
BTS?
Because when we first brought in BTS, I was really looking for them. I couldn't find them because their company was so small. It's that small.
Okay.
But I really wanted them so much to the point they can't believe I want them.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So when the first time I brought them here, I even took them to Malate to eat all you can Korean restaurant. Because they eat a lot.
Okay,
Like, I
wow.
know.
You guys, you got it here. BTS eats a lot. So I mean, the fans
Yes,
will
because
love
they
that.
need the energy, and then I love their energy. You know, I
Yes.
resonate on energies, and then I love their energy. Even rehearsal alone, they'll give 1,000% of themselves
Yes.
already. So they need all that energy.
What about Blackpink?
Blackpink, they're because it was a collaboration show with Live Nation. So with Blackpink, I didn't really get to know them as characters, individual artists. So yeah, but we also brought them with Live Nation. And then what else pa ba? Basically everything. And Hypin. I love Hypin. That's the last artist that we had brought in that we built. And then we went to Clark, all the way to Clark. And I felt it really helped our country to recognize Clark City, because that stadium is sitting there from SEA Games. So I used it for a K-pop concert. It's amazing.
And filled to the rafters, I'm sure.
Yes. And then it was so massive and so nice. That's when you can see Philippine can do it.
Yes.
Like, you know.
But talking about Blackpink, BTS, Super Junior, these are huge acts. Do they, being a somewhat interested fan, right? Do they have the same demands like, Western acts, like from Hollywood or the like?
Well, actually, for me, honestly, Western artists demand less. Because Korean artists demand more, because there are more people in it as well. So imagine a demand of a Western artist for one person times 9.
Correct.
It's like, okay.
That's enough. That's enough to make you go therapy.
Yeah. Yes. So you have to really make each member okay. So it's quite tough. That's why I don't think just anyone can do it, because it's too taxing for anyone.
So do you think, or what makes you think the Philippines is a key market for K-pop artists? I mean, do they start here and then they go abroad, or?
Well, apparently, only recently I found out that it's not really their key market.
Wow.
Yes, right? Because maybe
surprised.
because of the venue options.
Oh,
We don't
that's
really
important,
have
yeah.
as much like the logistics. Because to mount a K-pop show itself, we bring in a lot. Like we bring in 10, 11 containers in. Like there was one time I even brought in an entire airplane here. That's how massive. Just to bring in one bridge, I had to rent an entire airplane. Just, it's parts coming in, right? So logistics are very important.
And the investment.
Yes, investment and logistics. So if the government, like infrastructures, the venue infrastructures, if they all don't fit in that tour, we can be skipped.
How do you think you can mitigate that?
Well, sometimes there are some management, they're still open to negotiations. We can still adapt it to the Philippine style, or we could change it up, But there are some shows that is non-negotiable. That's why we get skipped.
Oh, that's unfortunate. But then they've got such a big fan base here in the Philippines that, I think, like we discussed earlier, that they started here, then they get known
actually.
elsewhere. So they start here, they get popular, but they can't come back because they can't fit in the stadium.
Yes.
Which is actually okay. That's pat on your back, di ba?
It's really like that.
Yes, but a lot of fans, interact with you. They know you're super hands-on in concerts, and you are one of those organizers that have a difference, because you don't only bring the artists, but you also collaborate with the fans, or you deal with the fans. How did you merge those two together? Because producers don't normally do that.
Well, because for me, when I started doing this, I didn't have much support. As you know, like nobody believed in it. The only people that really supported me were the fans. So I really know how they felt, and then I felt it because I'm a fan myself, right? So whenever I bring an artist in, I feel like, okay, this is our chance to do what we can do. And then I'm just the bridge. At the end of the day, it's the artist show, it's the fans reacting to it. I'm just the one making it happen in between. So if I'm not gonna be able to connect those two, then it doesn't make sense.
But how do you balance the demands between the fans and their demands to the artist? Because once you see your idol or your major fan moding at the moment, you kind of lose your spirit.
Yes, I've seen that so many times.
So how do you balance that?
Well, I just
between them?
really, I'm very transparent and very honest with that. Like sometimes it gets me in trouble also being so transparent. Cannot be apparently. But me, because I feel like I have to tell you the truth or else why, diba? But then apparently you sometimes you just shut up. But with me, to make it balanced, I really tell the fans, I said, okay, I'll try. And then for real, I'll try to the point that the management sometimes would tell me, are you crazy? Because I'm feeling like, for me, at least we tried, right?
The
They can
effort
always
was
say
there.
no.
So it's authentic.
Yeah, so they can always say no or yes. What if they say yes? Then we're both happy. We're all
I
happy.
should say to the fans, your inang really authentically tries. But what's your most memorable fan meeting with their K-pop idol?
My personal fan
that
meeting.
that you've witnessed between a fan,
fan
and the
and-
artist.
I think it was when BTS was starting here. Because we had an activity wherein they really shook hands with each fan. And I could see all the fans there during that time. First, they couldn't believe BTS was here. And they're the hardcore beginning fans. So, and then they got to shake hand each person.
That's a couple of hundreds and thousands.
Exactly right. Now, of course, they won't do that anymore. But during that time, since we are one of the first countries that they really went to, they really got to shake each person's hand. And then I could really see some collapsing. Some
I was about to say, were they collapsing?
Yeah, they were. Some they were so emotional to the point they hate me so much.
Well,
like I don't know, like too much emotion. Like, yes.
But it's amazing that you can actually. It makes you feel good that you can
Yes,
actually.
that I could give that to them and have that opportunity for them.
And it's a dream.
Yes.
And you've provided that.
Yes.
Right? But talking about that, I'm excited to know, are you able to break anything on our today's show regarding future projects so that the fans will go nuts?
Well, there are so many shows that we really work so hard to get. And one of the shows that we have, because nowadays we have been rediversing all our genres. We are strengthening other genres as well. We are strengthening the pop punk scene. We are re-strengthening the emo scene. Philippines is the #1 emo country in the world.
Really?
Yes. At the end of the day, we're like, ooh. We love that. We love being emo.
Yes.
So a lot of the shows that we are doing now, it's like we want to build all those different genres. And then recently we have just successfully basically acquired another show that we felt is the king of all emos in the
Are
Philippines.
you allowed to say?
Depends on when this is gonna air.
It's live. It's coming out right now.
I think by this time,
Yes.
they already announced it in the States because of the time difference,
Yes,
no?
yes. You
So
can
we're-
say it.
We're bringing in My Chemical Romance.
Oh my God!
The last time they were here was 2008. So imagine.
I'm so happy. We broke the news here, guys, at the High Life on Trade Talks.
So we are bringing in My Chemical Romance for their tour, and it was 10 plus years in the making for us.
Oh my goodness.
So for
Happee.
me and Vernon, it's a huge win
Yes.
because we feel like we are like the #1 emo. Imagine when I was. I don't want emo, diba? Like,
All right, last few questions for you. You host Happy Hour. What does that mean for you? It's a.
Well, Happy Hour is me sharing my happiest moments in my life with everybody that follows me. And up to a certain point kasi it became the customer service of Pulp. So I stopped it muna. Now I'm trying to give it a go again because I want to continue having that positive happiness lang without being judged, without thinking of being different.
Happy emo.
Yes. So I'm in my happy emo era.
Lovely. Okay, last few questions. Your worst investment.
My worst investment, exhibits, maybe. Because
Okay.
you know how Pop is diverting. We did exhibitions, but we're not so good at it. So I think I had a lot of learning curves there that it was a bad investment.
Best investment.
My best investment, I feel, are the company and the team that I have built. Because I've really put effort in filtering them and having them, creating that bond with them, that now I feel like everybody works harmoniously and love each other. So I think that's the best.
What about your favorite mistake?
My favorite mistake is doing the K-pop shows that I love. Sometimes it doesn't make sense or it doesn't do well. But I'm so happy doing it. And I'm gonna do it again. Of course, I don't tell my husband that.
Yeah, now he knows.
If given a chance, I'll do it again.
Vernon, if you're watching, now you know. Thank you so much for being with us and putting so much energy and life into today's show.
Thank you,
I've super
you.
enjoyed. Now they know exactly who's behind the revolution of K-pop in the Philippines.
Yes, thank you so much for inviting
you.
me.
And that is it for today's show. I'm Ferdi Salvador. Catch the Bilyonaryo News channel on Free TV Channel 31 and on cable via Cignal Channel 24. Thanks for watching the Bilyonaryo News channel, always on top.